Right. Hey everyone, I'm Klloo. So, Cindra and her kunai. Yeah, her daggers have finally been revealed as the kunai of Retribution. Once per turn action, pay 1, destroy this when the combat chain closes, right? Attack, go again, Draconic ninja weapon, and of course, dagger with 1 power. Yeah, they're just so beautifully designed, right? In fact, even the interaction with Cindra's own hero ability is very nicely done. So hats off to LSS. So Cindra's ability herself is once per turn instant, pay 3, equip up to 2 Draconic daggers from your graveyard. This ability costs 1 less for each Draconic chain link that you control. Now, of course, you could set up 2 easy Draconic chain links with the Kunai of Retribution, but their destruction clause, right, their base destruction effect, doesn't come into play unless the combat chain closes. So in order to benefit from the cost reduction for Cindra's own hero ability, you need some alternative way to actually destroy the daggers, right? It means they're super powerful, but they're not broken or busted. So yeah, I do think they've been designed really nicely. Now, Faye obviously won't get as much bang out of these as Cindra does. But, you know, maybe you take them for the early game, you have a nice, powerful starting turn, and then you go concealed into some other daggers, right, to benefit. But yeah, Cindra's going to love them. Faye, I can see him getting use out of them in just a really, really burst combo set, right? Maybe you take them for Blitz, not so much for Class Constructed. We'll have to wait and see. But nonetheless, what I really, really want to look at is how these sort of underpin everything Cindra's going to do, because they have just such beautiful play lines, right, that I do really think will make up the basis of whatever Cindra ends up running. So, starting off, nice and simple, right? Cost 1, chain link 1, dagger hit 1, using the kunai. Step 2, second kunai. Then after that comes the bread and butter card of Blood Runs Deep. Now, Blood Runs Deep has its own discount effect, so we've already set up 2 Draconic chain links by way of the daggers, meaning that Blood Runs Deep is now going to cost us nothing to play, and then it has its daggers destruction effect. So, you play your 2 kunai, you play Blood Runs Deep, it destroys your 2 kunai, you get 2 extra dagger hits potentially, right? And you've set up 3 Draconic chain links, which of course means that for Cindra's hero ability, you can now play it for free, right? Because you have those 3 Draconic chain links, you've destroyed the daggers without closing the combat chain, and now you can re-equip both of them for free, which then leads us, of course, into another dagger swing, followed by another dagger swing. So yeah, anytime you get Blood Runs Deep to just be able to take this play line to start your turn, right? It's very important we rationalize that this is the start of your turn. You have used, you know, maybe 2 cards here to get this off the ground, right? So pitch-wise, red, right? If we're doing the Draconic thing and taking a mostly red deck, we're going to run into a rough time. Worth noting, Blood of Drakar will not work with the kunai because the kunai are a ability, right? You're not playing a card, you're activating an ability, so you don't get the discount of Blood of Drakar, otherwise that would be very, very busted whenever you draw it. But nonetheless, if you were to take red in order to pull off this playline, well, we'd have to pitch 4 cards, doesn't quite work. Now, if we take yellow, however, we're up to 2 cards. Worth noting, Mask Momentum, right? So yeah, we're setting up a decent number of chain links, right, which lends itself to Mask Momentum, lends itself to Draconic, and in yellow, we can sort of do this somewhat smoothly, right? Blood Runs Deep plus 2 yellows, we've done the turn, right? Maybe we get that extra card off Mask Momentum, and it's our finisher. But what I really like, and I think I will definitely toy around with, is taking a mostly red-blue deck, right? Blue for the late game, just smooths out these dagger turns really nicely. So, if we do take a blue pitchfork for the line, right, we can get away with using Tunic or cutting down on 1 dagger swing. So, 1 blue pitchfork plus Blood Runs Deep and the 2 daggers on board, and we can basically set up 4 to 5 Draconic chain links and potentially 5 to 6 dagger hits, which is very important, right, because you then have cards like Stab Wounds or Bleed Out, right, to use with those dagger hits / dagger damage, because one does one does the other, right, as your payoff. So yeah, really nice to me, just the basis of your line. Again, in blue, you will potentially have 1 to 2 extra cards to play around with to play as your finisher, plus then maybe Mask Momentum, so a 3rd card. You can go so wide with Cindra, relatively easy. Now, of course, Blood Run Deeps itself you can only take 3 copies, so this is not something you're going to be doing, every other turn, but it is still a very nice play line to have once you find Blood Runs Deep, because again, it doesn't take anything at all to get off the ground, just the right pitchables. And then for your payoffs, you can go into another Blood Runs Deep since you have your daggers back, set up maybe more dagger swings, maybe then go into another finisher like Bleed Out that has been discounted thanks to the number of dagger hits, so you're now playing Bleed Out probably for free, right? So just a nice little boost in damage, or you've got something like Engulfing Flame Wave or any of the other Draconic cards to take advantage of the number of chain links that you have set up. So the case of Engulfing Flame Wave, right? Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an attack action card with cost less than the number of Draconic chain links you control, you may banish it and play it this turn. Now that's really nice because you don't have to hit a Draconic card with it, right? You just have to hit a card that has a cost less than the number of Draconic chain links that you have set up. Again, with this play line, you're looking at 4 to 5 chain links set up and established that are Draconic. So as long as you hit an attack action card, you're going to get value out of Engulfing Flame Wave and more chances to proc that Mask of Momentum. And then we have Stab Wound and even extra usage of Flick Knives, right? So Stab Wound is just a high pressure card with the number of dagger swings that we're getting out there. Because again, we've hit 6 times with a dagger potentially, right? If you chuck in Flick Knives, that could potentially be, 7 dagger hits. So Stab Wound as a 0 cost or a blue pitch ball that you can cycle away till you're trying to use it as a bit more of a finisher or to really regain tempo is just a nice 2 power, right? But potentially an extra 7 life damage, right? Straight life damage. So yeah, I do like it as a finisher. I do like daggers for Cindra, but again, only 3 copies of Blood Runs Deep. So what is the other line that will sort of make up the backbone for me when it comes to Cindra? Well, again, we're starting off with our dagger swings. So first 2 chain links going to be Draconic. Then we have Hurl. So Hurl, much better than Blood Runs Deep. Well, not functionality, but by the way of being able to take 9 copies of it, right? If you take all 9 copies, red through blue, that's 9 Hurls and 3 Blood Runs Deep for 12 cards out of the 60. So almost a 1 in 4 chance to have one of these cards to start your turn with one of these dagger lines, right? So that's fairly nice. It's going to cost you 1 to destroy 1 dagger, and then of course you can combo it with Flick Knives to destroy the other one. So for a little bit more pitch, you're getting the same sort of value as Blood Runs Deep, right? Now, when it comes to Cindra, we've only set up 2 Draconic chain links, so using her ability at this point is going to cost us 1, right? But then we're going to get the daggers back, and then we can go into whatever else we're doing. Maybe not swing the daggers so that they don't get destroyed, just go into our finisher, or swing them, potentially again, whatever cards you have to pitch. But this is still a nice setup. It's going to be 3 chain links, 2 of which are Draconic, right? You've done up to 4 dagger hits to then go into some of those finishes we talked about. But, be greedy, continue with the daggers, throw out them 2 more times for chain link number 4 and 5, potentially 6 dagger hits. And altogether, pitch-wise, again, if we're in red, it's not really going to be functional. If we're in yellow, it's a bit better, but still, I like blue, right? Hurl plus 2 pitchables definitely seems nice. Again, if we cut out the extra kunai swings and go into just some of our finishes, we're probably going to be a little bit happier, but for the turns where we don't really have much and just be going, wide, pushing those extra dagger swings, I do like blue. Again, setting up Mask of Momentum, maybe it lands off of Hurl, maybe it doesn't, but we're still pressuring with it, so that's really nice to help boost Hurl's threat, right? And again, it's just the start of what you're doing, right? It's the 3rd card of a most likely 6 to 7 card chain link, right? Chain length, right? So yeah, I do like blue a bit more, but we also have fealty to talk about, because fealty definitely helps smooth this along. So fealty, instant destroy this. The next card you play this turn is Draconic, which means we can turn Hurl into a Draconic card to then make Cindra's ability free to set up 3 Draconic chain links before we go into those extra dagger swings if we're going to swing with the extra daggers. So depending on, again, how Mark ends up being for the set, how Fealty ends up being for the set, this could be really, really nice because, again, card-wise, we're taking 3 Blood Runs Deep. In my eyes, I'm taking all 9 Hurls, right? And then I'm probably taking Memorial Ground because, to me, the value of Blood Runs Deep is just so nice, right? So potentially, there's 15 cards right there. 1/4, most likely, of your deck, give or take a little bit, depending on what your sideboard in. But yeah, a 1 in 4 chance to have this sort of setup where, again, one line lends us to, you know, potentially 6 swings, right? The other one, maybe 4, 5 swings, right? That's a lot of chain links to start, right? With just our dagger, with one card, a couple pitchables, right? Maybe some other ways to crank out the resources to get those discounts, and then go into an extra card, an extra 2 cards as our finishers for the turn. So yeah, Cindra's tempo and ability to go wide is definitely going to be super intriguing, and I'm curious to see if it can, you know, outpace most decks. Obviously, running into Ward and the Enigma wall is definitely still going to be a sore spot, but I'm looking so forward, right, to the Dagger Synergy, because, you know, there's still, this is the tip of the iceberg, right? These are just the play lines to me that will make up the backbone of Cindra's playstyle, but it's where you go from there, right? What other cards synergize with it, other ways to, you know, have non-preventable damage or do X or Y, right? There's a lot of wiggle room, because again, you've got Draconic with the number of chain links, you have daggers with the number of hits and the damage you're attempting to do with them to set up. It's going to be such a fun time, I think, building Cindra. So, hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts. Yeah.